Hi, Sindy. Hi, Jean.
Hi.
It's wonderful to see you. Finally, we managed.
I know.
I was checking when we did the first video. It was in December 2022, so it has been 1.5 years.
Has it?
Yeah. I mean, we were planning to do this video like for a year or so.
It's incredible. It's incredible.
Time's running fast. But
better late than never.
Absolutely. Where do we start? What's new in Planetdance?
Some interesting things have happened. Korean translation and some new releases, people picking up Astro Basic and doing some new work. I've been doing quite a bit of work on the medieval modules in particular. And there's a lot gone on, but time goes so quickly. I can't believe it's 1.5 years since we did the original video.
Yeah. And actually the medieval update, the medieval module got updated quite a few months ago. And it was something of a sort of, it just got updated, but we didn't talk about it at all,
Yeah.
I just realized it when you were talking about the Ed Greek, the major update and all the work you put in. And I was like, yeah, actually the medieval module it's a major update there. And you have been doing a lot of work with that, but we didn't actually introduce this to the people at all. So,
Well, I'm really happy to do more videos, Sindy. I think it's a great way of just bringing people up to date. At the moment, I have started an electional module, which will be based on the medieval module. So that's I've just begun that, and at the moment, I'm just looking at the Vedic horoscope module, which I did many years ago now, is in need of update. But it was one of my early efforts at a much more complex module, and some of the code is quite. I'm struggling to understand it, which I know Jean will appreciate. I'm struggling to understand. What did I do there? Why did I do that? I think as time's gone on, certainly the tabbed versions of the medieval module, they're much easier to keep track of because everything is broken down into much more understandable subsections or subroutines. So that but the Vedic module was a kind of transition to that approach. But so I think it's Planetdance is continuing to evolve, continuing to change, continuing to be improved. Jean is doing bug fixes all the time, and I don't know that there's any astrological software anywhere in the world that gets this degree of attention. Jean responds very quickly to bug fix notices on the forum and so on. So it's an amazing journey, and our colleagues in Korea, an individual there contacted Jean and said, I want to do a Korean translation. So great, fantastic. And then within, I don't know, how long did that take, Jean? A week?
Yeah, very quick. Yeah.
Oh, that's quick. Fast. Yeah.
Yeah. The whole program had been translated into Korean, complete with Korean characters. Amazing to look at. So
this is wonderful.
Yeah, it just shows how versatile this software is that Jean's produced.
Yeah,
and a number of Korean astrologers have downloaded the software since then, and apparently the community of astrologers is quite small in Korea. But what a great service for them! What a great gift to have that available in their own language. Amazing.
So you mentioned a few things: the Korean translation, getting new people into the astrology and into Planetdance, bug fixes all the time. updates. So a lot is happening behind the scenes that we don't make a fuss of, it's just, it's there, it's continuing all the time. And it's, a new release every, week or something, and bug fixes all the time. But then today we are talking about the major update of the Ed Greek, the Hellenistic module in Planetdance. And I'm really thrilled to do this because Ed Greek is the module that I'm using most in Planetdance, and I know many people are using it. And as you mentioned, the tabbed version is much easier to use because the windows are bigger and it's also divided into sections. So it's a great tool if you study Hellenistic astrology to use that module. But before we get into it, I want to know, John, how is life with Planetdance? What is happening on Facebook, on social media, on the forum?
I haven't been that productive as I've been in this past year. But as I said, I did bug fixes, and I've did requests from people. I haven't made that many new things. One thing worth mentioning, however, is a while ago we got downloads from Iran.
Yes,
the Republic of Iran, and it went really through the roof. And one day there was 700 downloads in one day, 700. And it's been that has been some time for a few days. There were lots of downloads. Now it's normalized. It's around 50, 60 each day. But 700, wow, it was great for me. Yeah,
it's a lot.
Yeah. That was incredible. I couldn't believe it. And I, with all respect to our Iranian colleagues, I said to Jean, I'm a bit suspicious here. 700 downloads in one day, because you have to be aware of, risks. We all know, the internet is not necessarily a completely safe space, but it was absolutely Iranian astrologers had discovered Planetdance and are obviously very excited about it. And many astrologers there downloaded the software, and fantastic news. So it really is a global program now. And if you go to Jean's homepage, you can see, the diverse countries where Planetdance is used, where it's downloaded, particularly South America, India, Europe, of course. The US is probably the biggest source of downloads, but big population. So it's incredibly worldwide user base now, which is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and that people really get themselves into the program, contributing, and like with the Korean translation, doing translations, developing modules, requesting, and so on. So it keeps Planetdance fresh.
Gets me alive.
Yeah. Yeah. It keeps us busy, doesn't it, Sean? I've retired from my main job, but I'm a full-time Astro-Basic coder now. That's it. Not quite, but it's great. And the satisfaction is just seeing how many people are using Planetdance and how many people, when they discover it, are really excited by all the features and the opportunities that it gives them to learn and develop and explore new avenues of astrology.
Yeah, it grows all the time. It helps you grow too as an astrologer.
Yeah. I'm learning new stuff all the time, and fantastic. But Sindy, just before we go on and start looking at Ed Greek, I just want to thank you because you've been doing testing of pre-release versions, including Ed Greek, and that is so helpful. One thing I learned early on, I can code up a module or make a change, and I can use it and test it and test it and test it. But it's until someone else, yourself or a range of other people that test for us, look at it and maybe use the program or the module in a slightly different way, or bring something new to it, and they just pick up little bugs, glitches, formatting problems, and it just gives us a chance to check things and make sure that the module is working as anticipated before releasing it. And that's something I've learned over the years, that rushing a release, there's always then a big catch up around, oh goodness, that bug that's come to light. But just having a few people test the modules before Jean releases them in the main program is really helpful. So thank you for doing that.
Well, you're welcome, Ed, and I'm really honored to be part of the process of developing, and I really enjoyed testing the module.
Yeah. Well, you have a very good eye for little glitches, which is fantastic. Which is great. It's really important, because code is very intricate, and as these modules have grown, there's now many thousands of lines of coding in Ed Greek. The medieval modules, they all have thousands of lines of code, and keeping on top of all of that and finding all the little glitches is a challenge. But if we're able to share that out and people test and come back with feedback, it makes it much easier.
Yeah, also testing on different devices.
Exactly. We find screen resolution can be a challenge. Screen, the pixel size, number of pixels can be a challenge. But people using them on different screens, using the modules on different screens, quickly brings that to light, and a few little tweaks, and it's all good.
So now we are at the brink of releasing the major update of Ed Greek. When will this happen, Jean?
Well, what I'd like to do, I will send Jean the final pre-release version once we finish this video. And Jean can have a look at it on his screen. Any final tweaks, then I can change those, and over the weekend, certainly by Sunday, we can get this out, I think. And then people can start using the module. And if there's any odd little bits that need fixing, then we can sort that out next week. But it is really, it would be really good to get this module out, because, I know a lot of people are looking forward to it. And I've incorporated a number of suggestions from other astrologers. Martin Hermes in the Netherlands has made a couple of suggestions which I've incorporated, and he'll be keen to get his hands on this new module and share that with his students as well. So, we need to get this out. We've got summer solstice, sounds like a great time to release this.
Yeah. So, I would say let's have a sneak peek into Ed Greek. I will give you permission to share.
Okay, and then I'll share the screen.
So now you may go ahead.
Just a quick look at how it looks now, so you can compare. A lot of this information here and these things have been moved to separate tabs, just to make this front screen a bit more user-friendly. The other thing that has happened, the menus in the old version generated pop-up screens, but more or less all of these pop-up screens are now converted to a tab or incorporated into a tab. And as this has been a good stepping stone, but at the moment, to see a new set of information, it generally means clicking this off, reopening a menu, and looking, where are we? Looking at a new little window, and then tapping that off, and so on. So the aim of the tabbed version is to make it much easier to click through that huge range of information that is included in Ed Greek. And as you can see, just clicking through here, very comprehensive.
Yeah, so the whole module got rearranged, but there's also more information now in the module.
That's right. And hopefully the organization of the tabs is fairly logical in the sense that tab 1 is the basic screen. You have the wheel on the right, which I've adopted as a standard through the medieval modules and the Ed Greek module. So the right-hand side of the screen, more or less, is devoted to the chart wheel. And then the left-hand screen, left hand of the screen, you have the listings of the planets, the positions, the sign positions, the rulers and dignities and debilities, and then house cusp information down here. And a real breakthrough with this module and the medieval module is being able to, in real time, change the display in various ways. So in the center of the screen, you have the opportunity to show different positions, different arrangements of lots and so on. So we've got the basic wheel. The outer wheel is on the perimeter here. And if you click transits, you can display the transits for the current date or for any date that you choose down here on the left-hand bottom of the screen.
That's nice.
So today's 21st of June. Click transits, and the transiting planetary positions and the node are up here. So Sun's just gone into Cancer, as we know. The summer solstice is just past yesterday evening, and Sun at North Cancer here, just entering the example chart, King Charles III, just entering the King's 12th house there. By Porphyry and also by 12th house whole sign. You can display as many lots as you like around the chart from the custom list here. And you can display fixed stars, positions of the fixed stars around the outer wheel, and various analyses of the degree positions. So, for example, by Dwad, Dodecamoria, variation there, and Novenaria. You can see that the outer perimeter is changing there to give you these positions for the natal chart. Manilis' decans. You can display perfections on the outer wheel. And this is a crest from Martien in the Netherlands, showing the whole sign houses on the outside. And if you don't want anything, you just click that off, and you're back to the basic wheel. And then on the inner position, the inner wheel, which is around this area here, you can display Anticia, Contra Anticia, and the other Dodecamoria and Novenaria there. So that's I think that's an improvement on the existing module. It's much easier to see what you're looking at, and you can change this in real time. Features like changing the bounds in real time. Just see there, we're now using Egyptian bounds, and then that will change the listing here and here. And there's 4 sets: the Egyptian, Ptolemaic, Chaldean, and Balin's variation on the bounds. So very flexible wheel that you can, if you're learning all these things, you can quickly see what differences these things are making if you're using a different set of bounds and so on.
Yeah, this is great for studies with the bounds, for example. What set of bounds does symbolize what things in real life?
Yeah,
what's the difference?
Exactly. One thing that you can do here in real time as well is change the form of the houses. So at the moment, this is porphyry houses, a quadrant system, which was used in Hellenistic times, but you can have whole sign houses and you can swap to equal houses. But you can see how the different house systems are, impacting potentially on interpretation. Ptolemaic houses, so that's from 5 degrees above the ascendant for 30 degrees. And there's a range here. I've added some new ones. Midheaven equal houses.
Mm-hmm.
So equal houses from the MC point and MC whole sign. The first house becomes Aries, the sign that holds the midheaven, and then so on around the wheel. So there's a huge range of flexibility in this module. And I think it's much easier to use because of the tabbed, the new tabs and the opportunity to change things on each tab. So you can display different things on different tabs depending on what you're particularly interested in. So,
and this was only the first tab of the whole.
This is only the first tab. In a way, you've got a whole Hellenistic program on that tab. But as one goes through the different tabs, you can then see different presentations of information. So the second tab is looking or attempts to show how Vettius Valens, is a major source of Greco-Roman or Hellenistic astrology, amazing anthology that it provides many working examples of how a Hellenistic astrologer, or at least Vettius Valens, would look at a chart and interpret a chart. And all the your key information is presented here, and you can correlate that with the wheel. These positions are all whole sign houses, so I'll swap back. And then go back to the Valens tab. It's a nocturnal chart, so King Charles was born in the mid-evening. Sect light is the moon. These would all be very important things to a Hellenistic astrologer. The first triplicity lord is the moon itself, then Venus, then Mars, and then the positions in whole sign houses. So we have the moon in Taurus, so exalted in Taurus in the 10th house and angular. So a Hellenistic astrologer is immediately going to tune into that nocturnal chart. The moon is so prominent in this chart. It's nearly a full moon. It's in the 10th house. If it had been a cloudless sky when King Charles was born, the moon was highly visible and very prominent and very bright. So this is a defining characteristic of Charles's chart. And then you can work through this, and this is if you look at the little case studies or vignettes that Valens presents in his books, you can see that these are all the things that he's drawing out of a chart and key information. So hopefully that's really helpful to people, just to kind of begin to think like a Hellenistic astrologer.
Yeah, I
And
think
I
this is
don't.
great.
Yeah, have you used this information a lot?
Yeah, that's
Sindy?
basically what I'm doing. Looking
Yeah.
at if it's
Okay.
day, determining the sector of the chart first. Is it a day chart or a night chart? Where is the
Yes.
ruling light, the sun or moon, and so on.
Yes.
So this is really great if you are at the beginning of your studies or also later in your studies to come back to the basics. What's the
Yeah.
procedure? Where do you start?
Sure.
And sometimes it might be that you, for example, the exaltation law, you don't put a lot of emphasis, but then going through this list, you might just remember that, okay, I might actually want to look at this from a new perspective. So let's have a look at it. And yeah, I think this is really great for students of astrology to have this list to, also maybe check mark, did I look at this? And what's the procedure? What's first? What's most important? What comes next? And so on. And as you said as in King Charles's chart, the sect light being in the 10th, almost a full moon in exaltation, you already know that this is a very prominent chart.
Yeah.
For this person. Exactly. It's something that is very visible to the outer world. The 10th house representing praxis, what you're doing in the world and what you're known for.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. And, there's things like lot of fortune, which is derived, as we know, from the relationship between the sun, the moon, and ascendant. A lot of fortune, lo and behold, pops up in the 7th house, angular. Mm-hmm. And, again, another primary kind of indicator here of prominence. A lot of exaltation, which is indicated by the red E symbol there, angular in Leo, so ruled by the sun. The sun is angular. So although, if we go back to Charles Carter and other astrologers who felt Prince Charles's chart, as he was when he was born, wasn't the chart of a king, that's what they felt. Actually, I'm not sure that Vettius Valens would have agreed, because there are a lot of symbols here that suggests prominence, eminence, luck, success, and so on in Charles's chart. And, there's countervailing information as well. The lot of Nemesis, the Saturn's lot, is angular in the 7th in its own sign. So, we might want to then start looking at Saturn in Virgo. That doesn't feel quite so positive in the 2nd house, succeeding. So maybe there's some issues there with Saturnian type.
Yeah, and of course, in the night chart, Saturn is the malefic contrary to the sect in favor. So
exactly.
Most challenging planet, but also the one that shows the place in your life where you can grow most.
Yeah. And, Saturn, we know, rules 2 signs, Capricorn and Aquarius. So it's ruling the 6th and the 7th. And Charles, had an unhappy first marriage, at least after a number of years. So, and Nemesis is there. So we know immediately Saturnian things will impact on Charles's relationships and potentially his health. And, we know at the moment he's receiving treatment for cancer, and hopefully that will be successful. Lot of Diamond is in Capricorn, ruled by Saturn. So, it's a huge, we just used 2 tabs and already we've got a huge amount of information that is of great interest to astrologers in terms of Charles's chart.
Yeah, you have all the information there. Basically, before developing Planetdance and the Ed Greek module, you would just have pen and paper and write everything down in a list.
Yes.
And I made a template that I always fill in with all those informations, not to forget anything. And a lot of time is needed to do that. But now you have everything there already presented to you. it's much easier and time effective.
Yeah, exactly. And I think when we talked all 18 months ago, Sindy and Jean, didn't we? I said, the thing that brought me to Planetdance and took me on the journey of using AstroBasic to produce all these modules was learning. And my aim in creating these modules is to help people learn what's an incredibly complex subject. It's a lifetime study. And if there are ways that can be created to ease that process and to help people focus their attention in this way, then that's great, because there's a myriad of things in a chart that can be interpreted. But it's in my experience, it's about focusing what are the key things. And Valen's, it's like if you read Valen's, it's like a laser light. His case studies, they're perhaps a paragraph, but he presents in such a concise way, why this is the chart of someone who's successful and eminent, or why this is the chart of somebody who has a difficult time, or there's a period in their life they have a difficult time. So, yeah, just to go to the middle here, Sindy. So on this page, on this tab, we're displaying lots, but you can display the transits, and so on. Topic-based.
Yeah, it's nice. You don't need to go back to the first tab. You can always have the transits,
Yeah, exactly. You can always have the transits. And we've got, this is not showing anything, but if we wanted the fixed stars on this wheel and transits on this wheel, that's fine. And all of these settings are remembered. So once you finish your session, close Planetdance down, all the settings are remembered for each tab, and you can come back. When you come back, it'll pop up in it just the same way. And if you have particular interests, transits in terms of the houses, you can go here and you can see that. And if that's the thing that is really of interest to you, then it will always be there. But again, you can easily change that. So, each of these tabs shows a different set of information. So if we go to the third tab, solar analysis, a very, very important thing in Greco-Roman astrology and to a degree in medieval astrology, was understanding the relationship of the planets to the sun. And as one, again, in my experience, as one learns more about astrology, the reason why this is so important becomes apparent. For example, the whole process of retrogradation, planets turning retrograde and then direct, that's all to do with their relationship with the sun as we see it from Earth. And so knowing all these things is really, really important. So Charles, he doesn't have any retrograde planets, which is interesting. Retrograde node, that's not uncommon. The node, at least the true node, is moving back and forward very regularly. But if you look down here on this bottom left of the screen, this is all the relationships with the sun. So if we go to the moon, we know this is already a very important planet. It's moving very quickly. So it's moving more quickly than it does in terms of its average speed. It's obviously direct. It's always direct. So it's moving fast. It's visible in the sense that not only is it above the horizon, but it's opposite the sun. So it is in the dark sky, if you like. Second quarter, so it's just ending its second quarter, coming to the full moon, free of the sun's beams. It's occidental, and it's highly elevated, 48 degrees above the horizon. So all of these things would be of great interest to a Hellenistic astrologer. In fact, most of Charles's planets are moving more quickly than average, with the exception of Mercury. And Mercury is a fascinating planet once we get down to the level of planetary phases. Venus too, as we know, inner planets, they're revolving around the sun, very close to the sun. So what this is telling us, typically, Mercury can move, it's about, the average speed is about the same as the sun over the course of a year, but its speed varies greatly. And here, Mercury is slow. So half a degree per day. That suggests that it's either coming off its station or just approaching its station. And it becomes an important point of focus here because it's slow. It's spending a long time around this particular degree. And so you can just look at these things and explore them here. And you can also have sect analysis on this screen. So looking at the planets by sect and seeing which are, highly favoured, if you like, by sect, and the moon is clearly being a nocturnal planet in a nocturnal chart, in the nocturnal hemisphere, so the hemisphere opposite the sun, in a nocturnal sign or a feminine sign. It's in sect in every way that it can be. So it just gives, really adds focus to that. And you can see the combinations of planets here in terms of their sect. So, lots to look at there. I'll just click quickly through a few more. So this is a more straightforward screen showing the houses. We're looking at whole sign cusps. And if we were to look at porphyry, it would list the porphyry cusps here, whether planets are angular, what the ruler is, and where the ruler is. So, for example, Leo rising in Charles's chart, the sign of the king. It's angular, of course, being the first whole sign house. The ruler, sun rules Leo, and its ruler, the sun, is angular in the chart. So the key indication, albeit it's in the fourth house, not the 10th, but nevertheless, an angular ascendant ruler is really, really important. And then some analysis of the house cusps here in terms of dignity and detriment. And the lots. So this is a pretty complete listing of all the lots.
And I like that you have the calculations there too.
Yeah, so you can see how they're created. It's not possible to put all of these lots into the chart. It would be a huge piece of coding work. So there's a kind of selection of around 20 lots that appear frequently in Valence in terms of analysis or in textbooks like Chris Brennan's and Joseph Crane's textbooks. Key lots are able to be chosen, and you can switch those on and off here on the front screen. You can see where the lots are. So, for example, the lot what's a good lot to look at? So the lot of wealth. This comes from Paulus. It's the ascendant plus Sun minus Saturn, 18 degrees of Taurus, ruled by Venus. So Charles has a lot of wealth. in 18 degrees of Taurus. So, for example, and you can organize them zodiacally and alphabetically.
Mm-hmm.
So this is something I've incorporated. It was a separate module previously, and it's now
I remember.
incorporated within Ed Greek. So it's much more accessible, much easier to use.
It's really amazing what you are able to do with Sean's code.
It's incredible. It's incredible. I'd say to myself, if I come up against a problem and I can't work out what the solution is, I say to myself, there's nothing that I've never ever been able to achieve with Astro Basic. So there is an answer. It's just a question of trying a few more things. And every time, it's come good. And I'm just constantly amazed by the flexibility of the Astro Basic scripting language. It's amazing. And one of the first things I said in the first video, I started this Greek module with a very basic script that John had produced, which showed a circular chart and the positions of the key planets in whole sign houses. And I'd just begun doing a bit of coding, and I thought, well, I think I could develop this. I think we could develop this and create a Hellenistic module. And then I realized, you can change things in real time, and that's where the bounds and the face wheel came. And and then many years later, here we are with this new release on the tabbed version, and with all this flexibility built in. And it's all possible because of the Astro Basic code. So this is a perfection wheel. And it's organized to bring focus to the sign and the house that contains the perfected ascendant. And in the top right hand, you can see, based on Charles's the immediately preceding solar return, which would have been around the 14th of November 2023. Charles is 75 years old. That means he's in a fourth house, whole sign house, fourth house perfected year. Key to understand where he's at the moment, I would say. His whole sign, fourth whole sign house is Scorpio. It's the first perfected house, and it's the fourth house in the natal chart. And then you have, and he's in about the 7th or 8th month here. Must be the 7th month, the 8th month rather. So this month, from about the middle of June to the middle of July, is ruled by Gemini Mercury. So he's in a Mars-Mercury perfection period at the moment. And you can display on the inner wheel the transits. So we have Mars, transiting Mars in Taurus opposite the perfected ascendant there. That would be his natal 10th and his perfected 7th. So, yeah, you can see those transits there. And in the outer world, you can cast the most recent solar return. So we're looking at the return for 2023 here. So, yeah, really good opportunity to explore, these two key methods of prediction or forecasting that were used in the Hellenistic period. The solar return wheel is one that's undergone quite a bit of development. And Ashwin, the astrologer from India, who's very interested in medieval and Hellenistic techniques alongside Vedic astrology, has helped here, which has been great. 3 types of solar returns. Again, the outer wheel, we have the transits. The natal charts displayed. You can have the transits and so on. But 3 types of solar returns. So this is new. This is what we call the modern solar return. So literally the hour, the date, the hour, the minute, and the second the sun returns to the natal position, which in Charles's case is the 22 degrees Scorpio 25. So if we had a psychological astrologer looking at Charles's return for 2023, this is what they would see. But there is a method described in Valens, and this gets quite complicated, and I would have to look at the help. But it's to do with the time that the sun returns to, it enters its natal degree, so 22 of Scorpio, and then looking for the position of the moon. And again, I would have to go back to the help, because this is quite new to me. And then Ashwin has a variation, which is his interpretation of Valens' solar return. And Ashwin's interpretation is that actually it's a lunar return for the period that the time is in its natal sign. So quite subtle distinction, but as soon as the sun enters the natal sign, we look for the lunar return and then cast a chart for the time of the lunar return, I believe. Very interesting method, and well worth exploring. So there's these 3 types of solar returns for people to use, which is a nice step forward there. And lunar days, again, this is it has been available, but I think it was in a separate module. This is a technique that looks at the 3rd day, the 7th day, and the 40th day after birth, and casts a chart. And you can either use 30 degrees, 90 degrees, or 150 degrees, or the actual days here, and see these different charts. Again, I'm not terribly familiar with this as an interpretive technique, but people were keen to have this in the Ed Greek module, and it's there for people to use. So I'm really pleased with the module. Really pleased with the way it's developed. It's much more usable, much more straightforward for people to see what's going on, and there's much more flexibility. So, I'm really pleased with it, and hopefully people will enjoy using it.
I'm pretty sure they will.
Great.
I see that you have on every tab a menu button. So what's behind that button?
Every tab has its own help information. So if you're on the Valens Analytics, I know you won't be able to see this, but you can click that up, and explains a little bit about the particular tab.
Yeah, and it has source information. So you can
Planetdance creates a new window for this. So maybe you have to switch Zoom to that new window or something like that.
I think you're right, Sean. Yeah.
Let's have a look at the traditional chart.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
So people can see how this actually looks.
Yeah. So the final tab is just an opportunity to see how the chart is presented, particularly in Valens's texts, or any of the really historical documents that we have that show charts from this time. And this is the sort of chart that they would be looking at. So they don't have a round chart. I'm not aware of them being used in Hellenistic times. It would be a square chart, and the ascendant would be here on the left-hand side of the wheel. So that is quite a familiar placement to us. The seventh house whole sign is on the opposite, so representing the horizon. This is the meridian, or the 10th house and the 4th house, not necessarily the meridian, but the corresponding angles. These are all the angular positions. And then the cadent and succedent houses are shown by dividing the squares in the corner. And the succedent obviously immediately follow the angular, and the cadent houses immediately precede the other angles. So it's just an opportunity again to kind of maybe get into the headspace of a Hellenistic astrologer and how they would be looking at the chart. And there's a variation. This is one that I developed myself for a bit of fun. Not found anywhere, as far as I know, in any traditional literature, but just another way of looking at the chart. So you have the first, the second, the third, the fourth. So all the angular houses are in the center of the wheel, the fifth, the sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, 11th, and 12th, and so on. So just another way of looking at it, but as said, not found in the literature, but this is, an approximation, I guess, of how the chart would look to a Hellenistic astrologer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that you have the traditional names of the houses in both options.
That's right. So the first house, Horoscopus, gate of Hades; the second, the moon goddess; the third, subterraneous. So this is the house that is deepest under the earth, if you like. Good fortune, the fifth; bad fortune, the sixth; the setting place, the sign that is on the western horizon, and so on. And the sixth, the 12th, and the 8th we know are particularly challenging houses potentially. So bad fortune, bad spirit. The 8th is known as idle, sometimes death, and the second, gate of Hades. So, but it's particularly the 12th, the 8th, and the 6th that are these really challenging places. As from my understanding, the second is less so, because it's imminently due to become the first house. So it's it's going to be relieved of its onerous responsibilities fairly soon. But the 8th is descending quickly into the underworld, and the 6th and the 12th, as we know, even in modern astrology, are known to be quite difficult houses. Yes, good point.
Yeah, and the color scheme and the font and everything that you see here, you have a very colorful scheme here. This is actually transferred from your general settings. So you will have the same background color if you choose one, and color of the glyphs as you have in the main modules in Planetdance.
Yes, that's right, exactly. So yes, if you have a particular color scheme, it will bring that across to the module. Wow. So I'm really excited to get this module out now and to get people using this and feeding back. And what I'd say to people, this is a complex module, many thousands of lines of code. There will be little glitches, but if you find something you're not quite sure about, or you think it might be a bug, we have the forum that is available for people to report that.
In Planetdance Help, there is a link to the forum.
Yes, of course. So what Jean has pointed out, if you go to the main help menu within Planetdance, so along the top of the screen, top left of the main screen, there's a help menu, and the link to the forum is towards the bottom of that list, and you can go straight from there to the forum. And I don't know whether you can see the forum here.
No.
No. Okay. I think Zoom only likes one window.
It's a bit, it's a bit particular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you send it to me, I will have a good look, and then I think I can upload it.
Yes, I'd just be really keen to know how it looks on your screen, Jean, and if there's any little tweaks, it'll be easy to fix that, and then over the weekend we can get this out, and I'm sure you'll be keen to announce it on Facebook, and I'll put an announcement on the forum as well for all our forum users, and people can begin to download the updated version of Planetdance.
And we are going to see a peak in downloads again.
We'll find out just how many users there are of the Ed Greek module.
Yeah.
A really important point about Planetdance is the importance of downloading an update frequently, because Jean is very active in fixing little bugs and providing tweaks. The modules I work on, they're always been updated. And if you think Planetdance is just one download forever, then it's really important to understand that downloading once a week, or certainly at least once a month, really important to get the latest versions.
You can ask. No, people won't do that.
I know, but the more we announce that, let people know, then they can get hold of the very latest version. So, and that's different to commercial software, or most commercial software, which will be subject to only periodic updates once a year, maybe less often, sometimes never. So it's different. It's a different way of working with the software.
Yeah. Also,
I like it this way. Whenever there's something updated, I'm going to publish.
Yeah.
It has a drawback. Sometimes there are bugs introduced by publishing something too soon.
Yeah,
it's one drawback. But if I see that, I fix it and I'm gonna publish again. So it's they call this a rolling release.
Yeah. Rolling release, exactly. Yeah. So some versions of Linux, for example, rolling releases. Others, it's a release once a year or twice a year, and everything is collected together. I like the rolling release for Planetdance because, it's in very active development. And even after all these years, Jean, you've been working on the program, new things are always coming to light. And, it's a very comprehensive
fixed as soon as possible. That's just,
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. And, it's really important that Planetdance is as accurate as possible.
Yeah, so you can work with it constantly. It develops constantly. You have an idea about a new feature. You can get in touch, and you can, within a short time, you are able to use it. It's it helps to to work with the astrology in a very new way, because you're not depending on a fixed set of techniques within your astrology program. So Planetdance is able to expand, and that helps you to expand in your practice as an astrologer.
Yeah, that's great. And just keep learning all these new things. And it's such an incredibly rich and diverse subject. And, it's inexhaustible. And there's a lifetime's learning in one individual horoscope. We could look at King Charles's horoscope, or Joe Biden's horoscope, or your horoscope, Sindy, or Jean's, or mine. We could spend a year
in a million ways.
Years studying one horoscope and it still not get to to the bottom of it all. So it's such an intriguing subject, and
that's one of the reasons I made Astro Basic, because it's so vast subject, astrology.
Yeah, so vast, exactly. And I could spend the rest of my days coding Astro Basic, and the list of modules I would like to do it grows all the time. But it takes a lot of time, and I think the modules that are available in the medieval and the classic folders within the horoscope menu, it's a lot to maintain there and a lot to develop there. But Planetdance could be extended and extended and extended.
Yeah.
Yes.
But who knows? Someday soon, as somebody else comes along like you. I mean,
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, Chinese astrology pops up from time to time, and I think, I'd love to do a Chinese astrology module, but my knowledge is, that much. And I think it needs somebody who knows a lot more about Chinese astrology to do that. And the tools are within Planetdance and Astro Basic.
It's possible.
It's possible. There could be a whole Chinese astrology module within Planetdance if someone would be keen to do that.
So if someone hears the call,
that's right.
You're invited to join the community.
Yeah, and it would be very popular. There's all sorts of things. I think my last big project is going to be the electional module. That will be based on the medieval one, but have some really interesting features that I think will be really helpful to people in terms of determining a suitable time to start a project or make a purchase or apply for a job or whatever it is. We haven't even scratched the surface of financial astrology, medical astrology. It just goes on and on and on and on and on.
Oh, man.
Horizon somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere. It keeps receding.
Medical, financial, Chinese.
Yeah.
So I mean, talking about the future of Planetdance, so it's there's no boundary. Anything could be implemented into the program. It's just about people hearing the call and stepping up to actually contribute, to do things and to have fun with it. Thinking of this, there was a question about the development of the mobile phone app. We have been talking about this in our last video, but is there anything new coming up with an app, mobile app?
Not for me.
So this would be
I'm very disappointed in Google how they treated me and things like that. They just stopped the app from selling, and they didn't give me any explanation at all. And besides, if you want to work for Google for a mobile app, every day they send you things about their policy. Every day they send you must know this, and there is a text change there, and there is an updated agreement there. Every day you have to work. So I'm not going to do that anymore. No.
So at this point, just download Planetdance to your laptop or PC.
Yeah, get a nice cheap PC for Planetdance, and you're settled.
Yeah, and it's worth mentioning, users of Planetdance are not limited to Windows software, although I guess the majority of users have a Windows PC or laptop. But I don't use Windows. I have it running on Linux, and it's seamless. And, there are users who have Planetdance running on Mac. Now, you have to do a few little workarounds to get it running on Linux or on Mac, but it's...
it works, it's free, it's comprehensive, it's a good.
Yeah. So it's, you're not... although obviously there's disappointment over the Android app. There is every opportunity to use Planetdance on a laptop or a PC, and it doesn't need to be a high-flying machine to run this software. It's the main thing I would say is
the screen.
It's the screen. If you're investing in a new or used laptop or PC to run Planetdance, do make sure you have. Is it full HD?
Full
Jean?
HD, yeah.
Yeah, 1920 by 1080 pixels.
It's mostly common, very common.
Yeah, it's much more common. And these modules now, and Planetdance itself, but things like the Ed Greek and medieval, the display is so sophisticated now.
And we have to provide information, so we need
screen width, screen size. It just comes down to pixels in the end, and that's really the minimum. So I'm coding these modules on a full HD screen, and they will look best on a full HD screen. You'll get the best impact, if you like, and the best visual arrangement of the screen if it's full HD.
Good to know. Thank you for this information.
No problem.
So, anything else you want to tell us?
Well, I think we should do something on the medieval modules. There's a few of those, and that would be great if you have time, Sindy, Jean. I think it would be good to talk people through those modules. And, there's plenty of topics for videos that we could do, but, particularly something on the medieval modules would be great. And I'd love to do that, sometime when it's convenient.
We will do that. John, any final words?
No, just thank you for using Planetdance.
Yeah, no, thank you. And we don't know exactly how many people are using Planetdance. Jean's been working on the program for 40 years or more. Jean, you began recording downloads, didn't you, in a very basic way?
Some 10 years ago.
Yeah, just counting the number of downloads. And I sent an email to Jean earlier in the week because I noticed the counter had clicked over to 100,000. Wow. So 100,000 recorded downloads. And, that's a massive achievement. And but we don't know exactly how many users there are around the world, but there must be.
I think every moment of a day someone is using Planetdance somewhere.
I think you're right, Sean. I think you're right, Sean. Because there aren't many nations that don't record a download.
Yeah.
Some obviously more than others, but people right around the world are using Planetdance. And thank you to everyone for using this software. And it's a pleasure to make these modules available.
Well, and thank you for your work and for your time today, taking the time to walk us through the new update of Ed Greek, giving us a sneak peek, and keeping us up to date about what's going on with Planetdance. It was very nice to hear about the development.
No problem.
By the way, Sindy, you look great. You look great.
Thank you. You too. We have been waiting so long for finally having the time to do this video, and I was thinking, will it ever happen? All changes in our lives, and here we are.
That's fabulous. It's always a pleasure, Sindy, to catch up and show people Planetdance and to promote this amazing software.
It is. It's really a fixed part of life once you get into it. So it's just sticks with you. And I'm very, very grateful for discovering Planetdance and for Sean providing the software. for
It's kept
free.
me alive, so I'm happy.
Yeah.
It is amazing, Jean. I think you're absolutely right there. Every minute of the day, wherever people are in the world, there's somebody using Planetdance, I'm sure. And
so.
that's a great thought. That's a great thought.
Yeah. How much traffic do you have on the forum? By the way, I haven't been active.
Steady. I think it's steady.
Steady, yes.
Usually 1 or 2 posts a day. Sometimes it goes a bit quiet. Other times it gets quite busy. But it's manageable and it's working well. And it's another avenue for people to get in contact with each other, get in contact with Jean, myself, other people who are coding, and just either ask a question or check out something that they're not sure about, or report a bug, or make a request. Certainly, if you want to make a request for any of the classical or medieval modules, the best place to approach me is through the forum. I'm very active there. And there's a section, Planetdance in Action, and where people can put information about how they use Planetdance. So I post things in there. And I'm going to put a couple of links in if Ashwin is okay. He's done some really great modules using one of the extension scripts, which is mundane, medieval mundane methods. And he's using that live in YouTube with colleagues. And it's a really interesting way of seeing how he's using that module. That's downloadable from the forum under the extension scripts board. And you can experiment with that. So I'm going to check with Ashwin and see if he's happy for me to put links up in Planetdance in Action so people can see those amazing videos from Ashwin in India and his colleagues.
That's great to hear. Maybe you should have a video call with Ashwin next time.
That's a really good point. If Ashwin is up for that, it would be fascinating because he's a really in-depth user of Planetdance.
It's going to be difficult with to find a suitable time for us all.
Yeah.
Well, for people, it gets more complicated. But
the other thing I'm keen to do in the autumn, Jean, I'm going to be a bit busy for the next few months, but I'm going to come back to you and see if we can, or I would like to set up some regular Zoom sessions for Planetdance users. Now that I'm retired, I've got a bit more time. Maybe once a month, we can do something in terms of his Planetdance. Let us introduce you to it and do that in real time with people. But yeah, I'll come back to you about that. See what you think.
Okay.
Good.
That sounds great. Actually, you could also have a celebration about crossing the boundary of what was it, 100,000 downloads?
Yeah.
Something like this.
We call it. Yeah, there are more. There's more. These are recorded.
These are recorded ones, aren't they? What did you say for the last 10 years? Yeah. Impressive.
Well, it is impressive. Amazing. It never stops to amaze you. But okay, I will stop the recording here.
Thank you, Sindy.
Oh, I thought you already did that.
No. Oh. Okay, I will stop it now here. Or should we say bye-bye or what? I don't know.
Bye-bye.
To the people, bye-bye.
Bye.